Welcome to Reinventing Broadcast, where AI meets content. Hosted by Ben Anker. Let's dive in.
Welcome back to Reinventing Broadcast, where AI, media, and business transformation collide. I'm Ben Anker, and today's episode marks the beginning of something exciting. I'm kicking off my reflections from Berkeley's AI Strategy and Business Applications Executive Education Program. This is Module 1, Introduction to AI and Business.
And I'm HAIley, your American co-host, joining Ben today to explore his first week of learning. Ben, before we get back into Module 1 content, you've actually been keeping a running diary of your Berkeley experience. Can you walk us through your first few weeks, the setup, the first impressions, and the course structure?
Absolutely. The course officially opened on April 10th, but that was mostly for onboarding, setting up profiles, reading pre-course materials, and getting familiar with the platform. The real action started with our orientation session on April 15th. Now, because of the time zone difference, it was 3 a.m. here in South Africa, but the recordings were available later that day, so I caught up fresh.
Wow, 3 a.m. commitment right there. And you mentioned the course uses the Canvas platform, right?
Yeah, it's all hosted on Canvas, really well organized. There's a dashboard showing the weekly modules, a calendar with all the live office hours, announcements, and a messaging center to connect with classmates. Each week, a new module unlocks every Thursday, and you have until the following Thursday to complete your assignments.
Nice pacing. So you're staying about a week ahead of schedule?
Yes, the cadence seems great. Module 1 dropped on April 17th, and I got stuck into it immediately. Watched all the videos, they're between 5 to 10 minutes each, completed the quizzes, jumped into the discussion boards, and even got assignment 1.1 submitted a few days early.
Love that. And how's the community vibe been?
Really strong. We've got a private LinkedIn group just for this cohort, the April 14th group. There are about 400 people on the course, but so far, maybe half have joined the LinkedIn group, already made a half dozen solid connections, especially in media and tech. It's shaping up to be a real network building opportunity.
Networking, learning, and implementing, triple win. And you also mentioned something called Office Week.
Yeah, it's an awesome touch. Each week, several learning facilitators host live office hours, about an hour each. You can pop in, ask questions, hear insights from others. Today's session was led by someone based in India, which made the timing manageable. Other facilitators specialize in different areas: business strategy, technical AI development, data science. It's great to see the diversity.
And the Module 1 assignment. Tell us a little about what you submitted.
Sure. Assignment 1.1 was about identifying an opportunity to apply AI inside an organization. I chose broadcast media, no surprise there. Specifically, using AI for intelligent content tagging to make archived footage more discoverable and usable. It could dramatically cut manual labor, improve metadata quality, and drive new audience engagement.
That sounds like a real capstone project contender.
Exactly. I'm actually thinking about developing it further for the final project at the end of the course. There are 8 modules total, and after Module 8, we'll be putting together a capstone project tying it all together. Broadcast is a space I know well, and AI's potential impact there is massive.
Speaking of the future, you mentioned the upcoming modules. Get more technical?
Yes. Starting next week, we dive into machine learning fundamentals, neural networks, and even robotics later on. Honestly, robotics isn't an area I have previous experience in, but I'm looking forward to learning how it connects back to AI strategy.
Sounds like you're in for a fascinating few months.
Definitely. There's also a lab week built into the course later on, because some modules are heavier, like modules 4 and 5 that have 2 assignments each. That extra breathing room will help a lot when the workload spikes.
Ben, so let's get into the nitty-gritty. What's the headline from your experience starting out at Berkeley?
The biggest shift is realizing how AI isn't just a tool or a trend, it's becoming foundational to business strategy itself. Module 1 immediately reframed AI as a force for solving well-defined problems, not just automating random tasks.
Right. It's about targeted, value-creating applications. One thing that struck me in the dictation notes was the emphasis on augmented intelligence, rather than just artificial intelligence. So tell me, how did that land for you?
Well, it really resonated because we're not talking about replacing humans. We're talking about empowering them, AI handling the repetitive, high data volume tasks, so people can focus on judgment, creativity, and decision making. It's collaborative.
And that theme will ripple through every industry: healthcare, finance, retail, media, all of them. Ben, what about the early faculty sessions stood out most for you?
Hearing from leaders like Jolt Katona and Peter Abiel was fascinating. They made it clear that successful AI deployment isn't about hype. It's about understanding your business deeply, defining the right problems, and aligning tech capabilities to real-world outcomes.
Speaking of outcomes, Module 1 broke down three major ways AI can create value: optimization, transformation, and reinvention. Which of those hit home for you?
Transformation, without a doubt. Coming from broadcast media, I've seen how AI is already transforming workflows, from content tagging to audience analytics. And in consulting, it's about transforming how companies approach efficiency, customer experience, and scalability.
Let's get tactical. One of the first assignments was identifying an AI opportunity in a business. Without giving away the full submission, can you give us a glimpse?
Sure, I looked at AI-driven content recommendation systems for media platforms. The problem? Legacy content libraries often sit unused because platforms can't surface the right material for niche audiences. AI can unlock that, improving discoverability and engagement dramatically over 6 to 24 months.
Real value, measurable, sustainable. Now, Ben, you've worked as a consultant across media, events, and tech. How does this new framing change how you'll consult going forward?
It raises the bar. Clients don't just want advice anymore, they want implementation, automation, and impact. And the consultant's job now is to connect strategy to technology to lead that fusion.
That's the future. And speaking of future, there's been an explosion of new job titles. How does that factor into the consulting landscape?
It's exciting because it shows the hybrid nature of the work ahead. These roles are multidisciplinary, and often companies don't even know how to define them yet. Consultants can help create the blueprint for these new functions.
So it's not just about solving today's problems, it's about designing tomorrow's org charts.
Exactly. AI is restructuring industries from the inside out.
Ben, what challenges does the course suggest consultants and businesses will face when implementing AI?
Several. Data quality is a huge one. Many companies want AI, but don't have structured, reliable data. Change management, getting employees to trust and adopt AI tools, is another. Ethics and regulatory compliance are also big hurdles.
It's about balancing optimism with realism, building the plane while flying it.
Well said. And that's where strategic consultants can shine, by guiding companies through those tensions thoughtfully.
Let's zoom back out. Module 1 also talked about sector-specific AI opportunities. Where do you see the biggest waves happening?
Well, who knew? But lots of areas like healthcare diagnostics, financial fraud detection, retail inventory prediction, manufacturing maintenance forecasting, and in my wheelhouse is the media content personalization. It's happening across the board, but at different speeds depending on industry maturity.
Sounds like we're just getting started.
We are. Module 1 reminded me we're early, really early. Businesses that invest now in structured strategic AI adoption will have a massive advantage by 2026 and beyond.
And what about your listeners? What's the invitation for them as you continue this Berkeley journey?
Simple. Stay curious. Ask better questions. Focus on real-world problems, not just shiny tech. And most importantly, follow along. I'll be sharing reflections after every module, right here, every week on this podcast.
No better way to learn than to go through it together.
Exactly. If you want the broader context, yes, there's the website at ancast.tv, but honestly, it's this weekly podcast journey through Berkeley's ExecEd course that will capture the raw, real, evolving insights.
We'll be right here with you, Ben. Thanks for sharing this first checkpoint. And congrats on officially starting your next chapter at Berkeley.
Thanks, HAIley. And thanks to everyone listening. Stay tuned for next week's reflections on Module 2. I'm really hoping the course content gets better.
Thanks for listening to Reinventing Broadcast. Subscribe for more on AI content and the future of media. And visit ancast.tv for more info on Ben himself, the resources, other content, and news.